So the first thing I wanted everybody to do when they first get in here is to get on your phone, get on your computer, and text the people on your team that are not here. Okay, even if they can't make it, or it's 1 a.m. in Sri Lanka and that's where they are, just text them anyway. You never know. They might have insomnia like I did last night, or they might have just extra time on their hands, or you're just reminding them that there's activity going on. Okay. Always remember that you want to be moving forward and you want to bring everybody to move forward. Sometimes people need a little kick in the butt to get going. And it's our job to do that. And sometimes by kicking other people in the butt, what we're really doing is we're kicking ourselves in the butt, and it's getting us to take action and doing the next thing. And that's what we're doing. The other thing is promotion of everything is important. We're going to be in Boston, in Quincy, Mass, on November 4th and 5th. I'm promoting that to you. You guys need it to promote it to people. When we're doing something like this, every little thing that we do can either be a marketing technique for you. Hey, think about this. You're approaching people. We're going to be in Boston. We're going to talk about cold market training and cold market communications today. What about finding people in the Boston area? Well, Paul, how do I do that? How do I find business-minded people in the Boston area? Well, is everybody here on LinkedIn? And if you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn, and we'll do some LinkedIn trainings, because I'm going to go back into LinkedIn. I built the majority of my business in 2018 with LinkedIn because I really didn't do Facebook. I didn't do I still don't do Instagram really. I'm off of Twitter, so that was my method. And I know everybody on LinkedIn is business oriented. They're looking to make additional money, looking to make a little additional income. What I love about dealing with business people is that they will give you a no right away, or they'll give you a maybe right away, right? There's no dancing. There's no, and what's great about business people, Sandy said, I'm in there, but I don't get it. Okay, we're not going to do that today, Sandy, but I'd love for you. And you could always book a quick training call with me and I can go through it, because I don't want you to wait and not have some success while you're waiting for the next call, right? The whole thing is we want to avoid procrastination. So when we're dealing with business people, you never get the hang up. You never get stop, leave me alone. They just have a better way of engaging you even when it's a no. Okay, it's so much more rewarding and so much. Hey, say, Paul, this sounds really, really cool. I'm swamped right now, man. We just opened up another office. They made me the general manager, etc. I said, hey, okay, that's great. I really appreciate that. When you're ready to do something for yourself, just let me know. I'm here. Or I may get something like, oh my God, I thought you were in staffing for 30 years. Yeah, I did, but I retired 7 years ago. Whatever it may be, you're getting a different combination or a different reaction other than leave me alone. Why did you call me? There's some of us here on my team that we do some lead generation work, right? And in those leads, I have this crawler that, and I'm not telling people to do this. This is not training and it's not duplicatable. But there are people who are going on the internet and they're filling out a form, right? I want to make money. I'm broke. I can't pay my kids' diapers. I can't do this. I can't do that. They'll go in, capture the information. It's called a landing page. Capture the information. You text them back 5 minutes later, like, leave me alone. Stop. Don't bother me. Right? So you have to understand the mindset of the cold market, and you have to understand the mindset of the prospect that you're working with. And you want to lower the bar for yourself, not raise the bar. And part of that is identifying, even in the cold market, who is just a phone number, who is a contact, or, who is a prospect and who is a lead, right? A prospect is someone who fits your profile. They have personality, they have energy, they have financial condition, or they appear to, they have ambition, they sell other products, they might be a network marketer, they're a real estate agent. Whatever it is about that cold market person that is attracting you to make you think that they may be someone good to partner with. Now, I'm not talking about customers. We'll get into customers. All right. But right now, this is about prospecting distributors. And why have I been so hot on prospecting distributors for the last 30 days? Well, I'm going to be that way until this recession is over. because a lot of what you're doing right now, and I'm going to give you guys a tip because I was going to film a reel today, and with everything going on, I just never have the time. And that reel was going to be this. So get your pens out so somebody could steal this from me. When you complain about gas prices, are you flexing or are you broke? There's a difference when people, now I don't say use it that way, but that's the basic gist. Hey, when you're talking to people about gas price, hey, are you saying I just filled my boat and it cost me $1,000? Or I drive a freelance truck and I only had to put $200 in because I can't afford the normal $800 a week that I do, or whatever. So is it a flex that person's doing, or is it a dire need that they have? So maybe you could do some sort of a survey. Maybe you could do a reel about flexes or flexes versus need, or something like that, based on the economy, based on inflation, based on recession. Eggs are 80% more than what they were a year ago. Eggs are 80% more. A lot of people were eating a lot more eggs because they were cheaper, but yet that cheaper food alternative is 80% more. Meat is 50% increase over where it was like last year or whatever the time frame that they normally use to do that. So we have the inflation hedge. We have something to offer people. So in your cold market prospecting, how do we reach people you don't know? This is the discussion of the day. And you're going to say, well, Paul, I get it. So that's why I'm going with the flex versus the need. Because a flex person is probably doing something that's making them say, well, look, I'm going to be straight on it. This is not ego. Yes, Linda and I really, say, oh my God, gas, you kidding me? I'm paying like $3.96 a gallon for gas. I can't believe it. And I take my debit card out and I hand it to the guy, right? And I say, fill it up 89, please. Right? So I use 89 gas. I go right in the middle, right? 89 octane. And I've been saying, fill it up of 89 probably for the last 15, 20 years. That's what I say. It's like when I used to drink a lot and I used to order dirty martinis. It was Grey Goose, dirty, extra olive, no vermouth, straight up, as cold as you can make it. I've said that martini order probably 1,000 times. Right? Well, actually 4 times. It's more like 1,000 times. But I've also done that gas thing. So I'm not flexing with you guys right now. I'm just saying that I'm complaining about it, but I'm still filling my tank every single time. Those people are in this business. Why? How many of you still fill your car up with gas? Okay, so you're not flexing. I'm just saying that, but you're still going to complain about the price, but you're all in the business. There are those of you in a call, and I don't want to see it, that are struggling right now. Okay, we're going to help you through that. But the point is, both of us are on this call. Both types of us are on this call. And we're both pissed about the price of gas. We're both pissed about the price of eggs. And all of us are in the business looking to make it better for ourselves, our families, and each other on the call. So you kind of get where I'm going with the flex thing, right? Everybody agree? You guys can unmute your mics too. I don't care. This is like I said, democracy versus So if you have input, I want to hear it. Okay. If you have, thoughts or take it to the next level or improve upon it, I want you to do that because I want you to share it with everybody. Because guess what? So many people are going to see your reels, but so many more people are going to see. And most of us that are seeing each other's reels when we steal stuff from each other, it's not our audience, really. It's just our friends. The dollar store is now the $1.25 store. Right. Rochelle, exactly right. That's a 25% increase at a dollar store, right? Aldi, all the stores that are doing great right now, dollar stores, Aldi, what's the other? Trader Joe's, and Linda and Courtney came back they did a Trader Joe Aldi run. Now you can't get everything you need at those stores, but they came back and said, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. Look at this. The funniest thing was the Cheez-Its because they would cheese something. She thought the box looked the same. And I'm like, Lynn, you got to read the box, but doesn't matter. They tasted just fine. But the point is, they were excited. Go ahead, Peg. They were excited that they found that solution, right? There are people who need that solution. Never mind found it and be excited about it. There are people who are saying, I got to go to Aldi. I have to go to, and those are your target. Yes, Peg.
Oh, I just want to say, the flex thing. So I think I've done a couple of videos like at the pump, right? I'm filling at the pump, and I started there, and then I get in my car, and I've said, that how, in God's honest truth, how 4 years ago, I that would have been a moment of such anxiety for me. Like, is this card going to decline? So, and I've said that on my videos. So that's sort of a variation of the flex thing, right?
Sure, of course it is. It's anything to do with relating to someone who's in that position,
Yeah.
because what you're doing is, it's still top of the funnel, guys. The ultimate goal of this is to get you guys to bring that funnel down to where it's spitting out people that you're talking to. All right. That's the goal of this. So I don't want you to get distracted. All right. We got great coaches as far as those of you that are doing the lives and the TikToks, and like Angel and Nancy's doing them, and Peg's doing them, obviously. And then so many of you are doing them. I'm trying to see, but I don't have my glasses on. But the point is, you're doing them, right? Well, what's the purpose? Let's not lose sight of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring people down to the bottom of a funnel. So here's the thing I got to tell you. If you're doing all of this customer gathering, top of the funnel stuff, are you cataloging those names of people who are commenting or viewing or liking? Are you building your database? So what you need to do is learn how to use a spreadsheet, or learn how to use use a yellow. I have literally, I don't want to get up and go to the other room. I order these 50 at a time, and I have them all over the place that I use, and I just fill out these notes, and then every once in a while I'll go back and I'll rip out the crappy pages, and I'll recopy, or I'll do something. I don't make it a super habit, but I'll make notes when some of you guys are talking. I'll make notes. Like the other night we did a call, and I have Iris written down here. I see Iris is here, and then we talked about well-being and groups and all this other stuff. And I make those notes so that when I come back and comment to you, the points that struck me as interesting, or struck me as an epiphany about you. Like Hannah and I had a couple of really great calls. In one major call with Hannah and I have a whole new view of who she is as a person. I know what her struggles are, and I know what her strengths are. So now I know. So when you do that, make notes on your people, but make notes on your funnels. Make notes on who's commenting. Are you building a database? I promise you, there are people who commented on your lives or TikToks or whatever that you don't even remember. And there was, in the very beginning, those of you who are doing social media marketing, right? In the very beginning, when you guys were doing those and you got your first comment, there's probably people that commented on your stuff in the first 30 days of your social media journey that you don't even remember. And yet at that moment, you were so excited because you got 3 likes that day. And you don't even know who that person is, right? I know who those people are in my database, and I can go back and I can say, oh my God, I just got to tell you something. I never really reached out to you, but I remember when I first started this thing that I'm doing, you were one of the first comments, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. And it just got so crazy, and I became, whatever, you got to watch the ego thing, but excuse me, oh my God, I'm swallowing air. So successful at everything that I never got back to that. And I never forgot you as being one of the first people who ever commented on what I did. And I wanted to thank you for that. Okay. Now you could take that to the whole, I don't want to do cradle to grave. What cradle to grave is, I'm going to say, okay, now you get that person and then you send them a sample and then you get them on a call. I don't want to do any of that. You have to basically be flexible and work all of these things going on. You have to be like a juggler, right? Juggling all these things, and you want to grab the ball when it's ready. So let's say you're juggling apples, right? You're basically juggling apples until one gets ripe enough to eat. And the other ones you're going to keep, flipping up in the air until that gets ripe enough to eat. And that's how you build a pipeline. But if you're doing all of this work and falling in love with your content and not monetizing it or turning it into a lead, then what's that a purpose? So if you've been doing this more than 30, 60 days, you should have a database of at least 100 people that you could reach out to. And your first reaction is not, buy my stuff. right? It's not. You'll get to buy my stuff. You'll get to buy my stuff when you get the relationship with that person. People do business with the people they like, they know, and they trust. The average person is looking for $500 to $1,500 a month. And you've been collecting these people. And let me tell you what, it never goes bad. A lead never goes bad. If they were interested at one time in your product, or they were interested in one time at your in your joining you or joining a business or doing something in a business and it didn't happen, you can go back to that lead over and over and over and over and over again. If you do it the right way, they're not going to say stop or leave me alone or you're ignoring me or you're annoying me, right? You're going to say, just want to keep in touch. You never know what could happen. Right? Now, some people will tell you, I'm annoyed, whatever, leave me. That's okay. That's fine. That's why you build thousands of them. Remember, mountains of contacts to a hill of prospects to a mound of leads. So does it make sense about going back and keeping a database of people that you can go back over and over again? How about this? Hey, I would love to send you an article I thought about you. Give me your email. Now you took that lead, that prospect, or that person who watched your video, who is just a contact, and you captured their email address, right? I want to send you an article. So let me write down articles because I'm going to talk about articles in follow-up. Anybody got any comments so far?
Paul, I'd just like to add, you made a comment in the group chat that I was organized. Like if that, if I could be organized, I really could be dangerous, I think. But I did start, I was telling the New You Women group this week, I was using an app called Trello to organize people. So so I know some of the people on here are using it. It's like a board. It's like a whiteboard with sticky notes. It's electronic. There's an app and you can use it on your desktop too. And you can move people. You can make columns. So
beautiful.
So
my columns right there.
It's kind of like what you do in physical form, but it's the thing I like about it that is things get lost in my journal. Sure. I don't get back to them. I'm really still struggling to look for the perfect system for me, but this has been the best one so far. But what happened to me was I was answering people so quickly, I couldn't keep up with putting the data in. You got to put the data in there for it to work, right? You got to make the sticky note. So I did get sloppy with that. So what you're saying is perfect. Like the one video that went crazy for me in the beginning that I had all these comments on, going back to those people. I love this. I love that. So.
Yeah, so that's going to be because you're doing all of this work and you got to realize that things don't always ripen at the same time. Remember farming versus hunting? Now, I will teach you hunting because I don't tell you what's coming later until you believe that there's nothing else. So I'm going to give you a little secret about the way I train. Is there more magic to this? Absolutely. But if you believe that the only thing to do is the thing we're talking about right now to do, you stop thinking about, but let me see what the next thing is that I need to learn. And no, if you follow the system and perfect each stage of this thing, right? As we add new technique, as we add new strategies, like I always say, always be a farmer, not a hunter. I hunt. I farm, but I farm now the team as far as who's the next leaders, right? That's my farming. Your farming is going to change when we get in and we do the executive roundtable, which people are getting ready. There are people on this team that are getting ready to get into the executive roundtable, because now you farm your team, but you hunt. So I put 2 people in this week and 2 customers in this week, right? It's not that I want to hunt. I have no choice but to hunt, because if I don't shoot this guy in between the eyes today, I'm never going to get to him. And what do they teach you at a car dealership? At a car dealership, if I walk into the Chevy dealer and they don't close me right then and there. How many people I bought a car? I got the new Denali, okay, last year or whatever, right? We got it with the baby and the carriages and all of that stuff. We got the Yukon Denali, the big one, right? I went and I traded in my Mercedes for the Denali, right? So I go in and I tell the guy, this is the truck we want. We were looking at one in black. We really wanted white. The one in white was more expensive, whatever. We're going through the whole rigmarole, right? And the guy's giving me a deal. And I said, look, if I could get the white one for this number, I'll probably do it today. I said, but, so I go through the whole thing and he puts all the paperwork. I said, yeah, but I don't have the Mercedes. We went in the other car, went in the Audi, and we didn't take, which is my daughter's car. But long story is that we didn't have the car. He sold me the truck with the trade-in sight unseen. That's insane. And I said, dude, don't do me a favor. If we're doing this deal, it's on you, because this is the car. I even told him what was going on. I had it at the body shop because I wanted him to spray the bumpers, because Linda just has a habit of using the bumpers instead of using the cameras. So, and she, oh, okay, I'm close enough to the curb. I can feel it. So whatever. So I figured spray the bumpers, whatever, I'll get a better trade-in. It was still at the auto body guy to freshen it up so I would get more money on the trade-in. And the guy said, I'm going to call the auto body guy. I'm going to confirm it. And this is the number I'll get you for the car. And I was happy with the number, right? And they said, look, if the car was in worse condition, they were going to get less. If the car was in better condition, they were going to make more. But I didn't care because I was comfortable with the number I was getting for the car, right? They sold me the truck and we drove off the lot with the new truck. Linda followed me home with the new truck, right? Hold on. Without even seeing the trade-in. Now, why am I going through this big, long story about my cars and everything else? Because the way a car dealer works is if you walk off that lot, the chance of you coming back and actually buying the car that they did all that paperwork on, is pretty much 3 to 4%. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, well, I bought it from Jim Curley GMC Buick, right? And I know there's another GMC Buick 15 minutes in the other direction. Why wouldn't I go on the second day and see what the other dealer was going to give me and say, hey, I was just at Jim Curley yesterday. Here's my trade-in because I just picked it up. What are you going to do for the Yukon XL Denali for me? White with all of the blah, blah, fully loaded, all this other stuff. All they needed to do was beat that other deal by $1, and I would have taken it. Because what am I going to say? Oh, well, I'm here already. They're beating it by $1. I was comfortable with the other guy's price. I could get it all done. I could walk out the door. That's when you're hunting. Now, this is top level stuff, guys. But what I'm saying is the reason I need to resort to that is because we're doing calls and Zoom calls and three-way calls and all that other stuff. So I need to move quickly. But it doesn't mean I'm using a high pressure sell. It's just that I've done so many calls with people. I can do the first 3 calls in maybe 1 call or maybe 2 calls, right? I had a guy that came in, William, the guys that are on my team. I always put my personal people all the way at the bottom, so everybody benefits from them, right? Put the guy in. And he got in. So this is the God's honest truth. I signed him. We agreed to come in. He said, send me your link. I had to get on a training call. I'm on the training call. And as the training call was going on, I was on with you bunch. And he's texting me, where's the link? Where's the link? I didn't send him the link for 2 hours, right? Sent him the link. He didn't sign up that night. This is important because this is where I'm going to somewhere else. I had to hit him up 2 other times for him to sign up. Then he finally signed up. Everything was good. Everything was fine. He had a little problem with his URL, whatever. We got through that and he signed up. I ran a bigger risk of not giving him that link right away because I was busy, not giving him that link right away. And it leads me to this. There is a time when you need to hunt, especially when people are shopping. Okay? There is a time, but I need you guys to understand farming first, especially with cold market. Okay? So I want to let you know, the purpose of this call today is that yes, there is a higher level to this stuff, but it's only used at certain times, number one. And number two, if you're not teaching the simplest basics to the new person, right? It's not going to be duplicatable for you. Some of you will never do what I just described, and you will still be a 6-figure and 7-figure earner in this business because you follow the simple system of signing somebody up, letting them do social media posting, let them make a list, let them do 5 over 5, and let them utilize the three-way calls in the teams and promote everything that's going on. So let's go to timing. Many of you are getting me on three-way calls and you're saying, let's do the three-way call Monday at 7. We'll do the three-way call next Wednesday at 2. That is a mistake if you're not doing this next step. If you're doing recruiting by text and you're not having a phone call, okay, and you're not talking to that person before Wednesday, you probably have only a 25% chance of that person showing up for that call on Wednesday. You have to think about the car dealer scenario. So see where I'm going? I know I went through this long thing about the car and the Denali and the this and the that, but to realize that when you put it off to Wednesday, what happens? Does it mean they don't like you anymore? Does it mean maybe they saw 4 other things? Oh, there's a network marketing. I remember seeing a Facebook post 2 weeks about some other guy with this other protein shake thing, and he was in really good shape. And all of a sudden, the shopping starts, right? They don't know that there's a group of all of you, or all of the people on this call, that when they get on that call and they're going to see all of these faces and all of that potential support, they're not going to know what that can do for them. A product is great, but without the support, it's nothing. So the timing of your phone calls is so, so important to push it back. If you got somebody interested to right now that says, yes, I would like to get on a call, and that call starts to get pushed back a day, 2 days, the further that call gets pushed out, the less likely it's going to ever happen. All right. Why? I'm interested now. Order now. Act now. Why do people do that? Because it's in the front of our mind. Yes, it could come off a little sleazy or salesman-y if you don't do it correctly, but you need to understand that that is when they're interested. And then all of a sudden, the baby cries. The car gets a flat. Right? Soccer game comes up. Oh my God, my son made it to the finals in soccer. We thought the season was over. Now we got 6 more games because they made it to the finals, right? So now this woman is going to say, okay, so these 6 more games is going to be another 3 weeks. And if they make it to the championships, then we got to go to Ohio and we live in Florida and we got to drive. And all of a sudden, this thing is not going to happen. So you need to understand the car dealer scenario, that things happen when you walk out of that showroom. Things happen when they were interested right now. A 1-pack today is better than a potential 8-pack 3 months from now. A 1-pack today is better than an 8-pack 3 months from now. Why? If people are going to take 2 positions anyway, and I'm going to get into that one day because I'm not crazy about that unless you are in momentum, unless you're going to really build this business. I don't need you having 50 different spots that you're paying for, right? And I know that it's against everything you've ever learned before, but I'm sorry, it's wrong, okay? Because if you're not going to mega build on your inside leg, then stop spending the money. I hate to do it, but I'm just telling you that, I don't do that way. But if you did come in, or that person comes in at a 1-pack and they really wanted an 8-pack and they really start working, then they could come in and bring their spouse in. And when they bring the spouse in for an 8-pack because they need product, guess what? The top spot, which is, let's say, Mrs. Jones, sponsors Mr. Jones. She comes in with a 1-pack and gets the 120 on the 8-pack that she came in before. And you're going to be like, oh, but Paul, I would have gotten the 1-pack. I would have gotten the 120 if I sponsored them with the 8-pack on the first position. Start investing in your team from the get-go, because when I get you to coach and life coach and ambassador and diamond ambassador, guess what I get when I sign up an 8-pack? I get $120 for signing that person up with the 8-pack. And since I'm the diamond ambassador to myself, I get another 120 on top of that. Do you guys know that about the comp plan? So I'm going to be teaching in Boston, maximizing the comp plan. Not about you get 2 and it's 600, 400, how to maximize and getting more money out of the comp plan. But even if you're a coach, you get 20% of every enrollment that happens of the people that are beneath you that you personally enrolled. So if Lisa Duncanson enrolled Paul Capozio with an 8-pack, she gets 120. But when Paul Capozio sponsors Brooke, right, and she buys an 8-pack, I get the 120. Lisa gets nothing until she's a coach. And then when she's a coach, she gets 20% of 120. Not from me. I don't give it to her. Lisa, it's like the Brady Bunch. I'm actually doing this, and it's actually it's not going into your square. If it did, that'd be weird, right? Oh my God, he's living with Lisa. So, if I'm, when I do, it doesn't happen that way, but that's what happens. She gets 20% of 120. So if, let's say I'm a diamond ambassador, right? And I have my personals, right? Right now, until anybody beneath me in that team is enrolling people, there's a 20% goes to the coaches of that 120, 30% goes to the life coaches, another 30% of the 120 goes to the ambassador, and another 20% goes to the diamond. If there's no ambassador in between me and the life coach and the coaches, I get 50% of it. If there's no life coach in between, the coach gets 20%, right? I get 80%. If there's no coach, no life coach, no ambassador, and no diamond, because when I break a diamond, every time I break a diamond, all of those coaching bonuses go to that organization now. Okay, but every time I create a new organization, until somebody reaches a rank, I get 100% match on every single pack that's sold. So when you get into momentum, I'll show you how to maximize the comp plan. And that's why I'm so hot on getting everybody on this call to coach in 30, 60, or 90 days. If you just follow some of the basics, because you're going to see when you go coach, you get a 50% increase on your cycle bonuses. What's a cycle bonus? Every time your points on your left leg and your right leg, you get 600 points on a Friday on your left leg and 400 points on your right leg, or whatever your big leg and little leg is. Okay, I have someone in the waiting room. I know it's late. No, everybody's in. Iris, there's nobody in the waiting room. Unmute and let me know they're here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Alma?
Yeah.
Hi. Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure because Iris was making sure I got you in, but okay.
Mhm.
Where the hell was I now? Somebody help me. So you understand about that I'm going to show you how to maximize the comp plan, but when you go coach, your cycle bonus, you get 400 on the low side, 600 on the upside, you get one cycle, which is $40 for most of you. But when you go coach, the 40 turns to 60. That's an extra $20 every cycle, right? And what is $20 of 40? It's 50%. It's a 50% increase in your income just by going coach. Now, and calculate how many single bottles do I need per week on my left, and how many single bottles at 140 points on my other side. How many people do I need in my organization to get me to coach? Coach is 10,000 points on the left, 10,000 points on the right of a 5-week rolling average. So that's 2,000 points a week you need to collect left and right. Many of you are on a team that's growing. When that team that's growing, one of your legs probably has more points than the other because of a combination of the community leg, and that's going to help you get there faster. Okay, that's enough on comp plan. We talked about timing of your phone calls, right? Try to get that call to happen immediately. All right? If you wait till Thursday, you got a very slim chance of that call actually happening. Has that happened to anyone? Has that happened to anyone where you talk to somebody on a weekend and then 3 days later they say we're going to get on a three-way call and it never happens? Or am I the only one?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, great. Please feel free to unmute. So now we got to talk about the rapport building, right? You get on, you're building your database now, right? Somebody likes your comment, put them on a list, right? Somebody gives you a heart, put them on the list. The simplest way to start a potential conversation is to thank them for it, right? And now you're into the rapport building stage. This is your Hallmark Channel time. Does anybody know what I mean when I say this is your Hallmark Channel time? How many times have you heard me say it? See how it's starting to come together now when you think, okay, now you're in these random, like, what is he talking about? This is your Hallmark time. This is your time at night when you're doing the non-productive work that is gathering and building your rapport with people. Because you're identifying the 4 basic concepts of what people need, right? What they need is a personality, they need energy, they need financial condition, and they need ambition, right? So you're starting to come and find this out. Hey, thanks for, liking that post. What did you like the most about it, or whatever that is? Now, people start being a little bit more creative with that. But if somebody goes, okay, or just hit you with K and you get upset, you're wrong. You're wrong for getting upset because that person just did you a favor. They identified themselves as a lack of personality or social skills that's going to make it difficult for them to build a business. Did you ever see A Bronx Tale, the movie A Bronx Tale? Anybody ever see that movie with Charles Palminteri? It's like a gangster movie. Oh boy, I'm going to have to get the clip. And there's a clip where he's teaching this young kid how to be a gangster, right? And when he's teaching him, he sees the kid, Colosio, which is an Italian kid that his dad doesn't want to be in the mob, but the kid's enamored with the mob and all this other stuff, right? And I could relate to the story very much, guys. And someday I'll tell you my story about growing up. But so this kid is running after another kid on the street, right? And he's like running and he's embarrassing himself. And the gangster in the movie, Charles Palminteri character, is very well dressed. You never see him upset unless it's something really, really bad. He's calm. He's got his S together, right? And he screams at him. He goes, "Get over here. Don't you ever do that. Don't ever disrespect yourself by running and chasing after people, whatever." He goes, "What was that all about?" And the kid says, "Well, I lent him $20 and he didn't, I've been chasing him for weeks now." And he goes, "Oh. Do you like this kid?" He goes, "No, I can't stand him. He's a jerk." He goes, "Great. It cost you $20 to never have that kid in your life again to bother you. So consider it a good investment." Right? It's just the way you look at things, right? There's an actual book, How to Do Business, based on the thoughts and whatever, the I don't know, I forgot the word of The Godfather. Like, you could literally use the Godfather books to run a business, right? Or the Godfather story to run a business, of how they interacted. My dad used to say the same thing: money lent can be well spent. Yeah, it can be, because you're getting those people out of your lives, Nancy, but you're 100% right. My dad actually told me the same thing. We laughed, and we still laugh every time we see that scene. So that's it, guys. I understand that it's a sorting process, right? It's a sorting process as you're going through people. And those people should never come off your list, because the person with no personality, how do you know their dog or cat or sibling didn't just pass away? How do you know, like Danielle, that their house didn't just burn to the ground? Sorry to bring it up, but I'm just saying, how do you know if I approached you the day after that and say, "Hey, would you be interested in a new opportunity where you could make money," and your house is gone, you're going to be like, "Please, not now," or you won't even answer certain people. There's no way that other person could know that. So why are you assuming instead of just keeping them on your list? Okay? Yes, The Bronx Tale. Why are you assuming that? Understand that you don't know what's going to. Stop taking everything so personally. You'll never be able to build in the cold market if you take things personally. And you need to be your best public self when you're prospecting the cold market. Okay? When you're having a bad day, do busy work. If you're having a bad day every day, you need to do personal development. You need to become a better person so that you can have your best public think of it like first date. Okay? Think of it like first date. All right. Jill, I don't know if I'm letting people in that have been in already, so I don't know what's going on. All right, so we talked about rapport building. We talked about the phone calls, get them done. Why? You've heard me talk about your 2-minute story, right? Why it's so important. You're scared to call that person. So what you're doing is you're scheduling them via text, a call on Wednesday at 8 to get me or somebody else on the phone with you to do that work, which is okay, because you don't have a 2-minute story and say, "Hey, I know you want to meet on Wednesday, but I just wanted to call and introduce myself. Here's my personal number. I'm a real person. I'm not just some random computer generating a text to you." And I know sometimes we get that stuff, and and then try to get, and I'm going to have a bunch of questions that I'm going to go through of how you're going to talk to people before you ever even get into what it's all about. Now, if that person says, no, tell me what it's all about. Tell me, I need to know now, whatever. That's what you want. You want to get one of us on the phone to do a 3-way call for you. Now, you're going to say, "Well, Paul, why would I do a 3-way call if I know everything there is to know about New You Life?" Because I get people on a 3-way call. Do we know why? Does anybody know why we use a three-way call? And it's not about not being good. Charmaine?
It's because someone else has credibility, right? You can't
Okay.
be a prophet in your own town.
That's one thing. The guy with the briefcase coming out of town has more authority than the best friend for years. Yes, Jocelyn, did you want to say something?
Yes, I was going to say like 2 stories is better than 1.
Okay. Anybody else? Because we're
Making
missing.
it clear we have support.
It's wait, Hannah had it, but go ahead, Peg.
Oh, I said, you're making it clear we have support, that we work together.
Absolutely. All of those is correct, but Hannah's the number one reason. Hannah, could you unmute and say that again?
It's duplicatable. It's not as scary when you're a brand new person.
Okay, it's duplicatable. So here's the thing. Paul Capozio calls John Burton the very first time and does his best possible New You Life pitch. And he talks about Alexi, and he talks about supranalis sui, and he talks about the thyroid component, and he talks about Hashimoto's and the 18 ingredients in the product, and it's hormonal based, but there's 16 herbs in the product, and it's all formulated from whole leaf botanicals. And I go through that whole thing. You know what John's going to say? No friggin' way I'm going to remember all that shit. There's no way I'm going to be able to do what he just did. This business is not for me. Okay? But if I'm on the phone and I say, John, I want to introduce you to Charmaine. Charmaine's going to tell you a little bit about the business and everything. And I really respect her because she's been with us for a long time. She knows the product inside and out, and she's a great resource for me. And I just wanted you guys to meet. And I mute my phone and I shut the hell up. And I let her go. And when I find the urge to say to Charmaine, oh, don't forget to tell him about this, I still don't do it because she might get around to it in her own way. Okay. And maybe she felt it wasn't important because she's done these calls before. Right. Then as you grow as a distributor, one of us that's doing a three-way call for you may say, Iris, do me a favor. Tell us about, so-and-so is thinking about, they have family in Mexico. And you and I were talking when we were in Orlando. See what I'm doing? I'm painting a picture for Iris about, now Iris is, let's say I'm doing a three-way call for Iris. Iris has somebody on the call that wants to possibly build in Latin America. I'm just using an example because this is a true story. I say to Iris, oh my God, Iris, I want you to tell them about what we talked about in Orlando about building in Mexico. Now, because I know Iris is ready to start doing part of the call. We will bring you in to slowly wean you off and becoming the three-way caller for your team. Okay, trust us that we know what we're doing. And I'll have Iris do, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of that call about that relationship. And it's also telling the person, we had an Orlando event. We're thinking about expanding into Latin America, South America, blah, blah, blah. You follow me? So there's all a design in what we're doing. So utilize the system, because if you can do the pitch and you do it, you're scaring more people away than getting them. Okay? It's not that nobody likes to know it all. It's they're afraid. Nobody wants a second job. Nobody wants to have weeks and weeks of studying, to do this. Even if you got a successful person, do you know how many people have their real estate license and spend anywhere between $3,000 to $8,000 to get their real estate license and never sell a single home? Right? So now let's say that person went for their real estate license and realized they did all this education and everything and spent all this time and spent all this money on this thing. And here they go. They got to do it all again before they can make a penny. And by the way, they're only going to make $25 to $45 a bottle. Gee, if I would have sold a house, I could have made $20,000. That's how people think. So I'm telling you already what the end result's going to be. You just got to trust us that we know what we're talking about at the very end. And then you could start putting your flavor on it. You know what I mean? I know how I sound when I talk. I know I might not be the best choice for you to talk to a sophisticated, wine guy in California, but whatever it may be. But you figure out who's best for the call and who's going to relate. But do it to the point that you're not doing it because it's not duplicatable. Okay. I don't tell people about my income in this business because most people would not believe it. So I start off and what do I say? $27.40 a day is $10,000 at the end of the year. It's unbelievable. John's got the black cat. All right. Well, as long as the cat's not walking in front of the screen for the, what you call it. All right. So we talked about, let's talk about some of the other stuff. Anybody got any comments while I'm looking up something here?
So we do that for customers and for business
Oh.
people?
Hannah, I was going to do follow-up. You do that for anybody. Everybody with a three-way call, you do it the same way. I'll give you an example. There's somebody I put on my outside leg just yesterday who's owns the largest cattle ranch on the West Coast. Okay, they're huge cattle ranchers, but he knows a lot of people. So my deal with him is, I'm sending you a whole bunch of samples. You're going to get your product from the company in 3 to 5 days. Now, what I need you to do is, you know, a lot of people, right? He signed up as a distributor after I said this to him. I want you to just introduce me to them. And I'll tell you what, if you spend an extra $59, introduce me to the people. I'll place them under you. Just introduce me to them, get me on a call with them, and I'll place them underneath you, and I'll build your business for you. Now, am I doing something special for him? No, it's the same thing we do every day. Get me on the phone with some. It's the same procedure, just presented in a different way. For you, I'm going to say, get me on three-way calls. For him, I'm going to say, just introduce me to your people. Why? He doesn't know what a three-way call is. He just got into business. He doesn't know what a diamond ambassador is. He doesn't care. He'll know what a top salesman is or a president of a company is. So I'll relate to him that way. Like, well, you know, I'm at a rank in the company that's kind of like executive vice president or president. That's kind of where I'm at. You kind of figure that out, right? So you open up the comp plan. And the only difference between me and you starting tomorrow is I've just worked enough and got enough people that I've opened up every possible income potential out of the comp plan. Because our comp plan here is, you reach milestones. I don't go to Alexi for a raise. I just get X amount of people more. I go to this new rank and I'm guaranteed this income. I don't have to say, Alexi, please, I worked so hard this year and I did so many calls. And not only did I help my team, I helped other teams. No, I get to diamond, I do it, right? And that's where you're at. So you go on from there. And there's ways we could talk about your second spot and your husband's spot, but that's not for now. Let's get everybody on this call to coach if you're not the coach. And if you coach, let's get you to life coach. Okay. So when you're talking to people, the cold market conversations, we only got a few more minutes left, guys. Cold market conversations, right? It's not about, have you heard about the gel? What kind of health issues are you dealing with? What kind of, let me give you some questions. Hold on. I wrote up some questions this morning. If you're talking to somebody about being a distributor, right? You'd say, hey, is there any other decision makers, you know, that we should include in this conversation? Did you ever get talking to somebody for 15 minutes and they say, well, I got to talk to my husband or my wife? Anybody? So if also, what kind of budget constraints are you dealing with? Like, in other words, if money and time were no object, what kind of business do you see yourself in? Right? Do you see yourself as an investor making passive income once you set up a few things and do a few, you know, tweaks here and there every week? Or do you see yourself literally getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to make the donuts? Find out what their ambition level is and find out what they think an easy business is, right? And then ask them, you know, is changing your income, is this a priority right now? Now, you're not going to ask all these questions. Are you guys have pens and paper? I'm going to try to, I typed some of this stuff out, and when I spell check it, I'll make it available or something. What challenges do you think will come up if you get involved? Kids, soccer, this, that. Oh, my job. Well, we're going on vacation for 2 weeks. You know, Christmas is coming. It's going to get busy. It's okay to have these conversations because you're overcoming the objection. And what you're doing is called, write this down, managing the expectation. All right. Now, I put, how do I make this process as easily as possible? Yeah. Okay. So how do I make enrolling you and getting you started as easy as possible? Now, what does that mean? Let's stay here for a while and we'll end on this because I got about 30 other ones. Okay. So how do I make this process easy? And I'm going to tell you two stories. One story is, and I'll give the Peg story. She does TikTok, she does video, she does this, that, she's engaged, she's building her team. And then I got this guy, William, who owns a cattle ranch in California, who just came on. And all he really wants to do is he really loved the product. He really loved the product, but he knows a lot of people. So I said, look, why don't you just introduce me to those people? I'll talk to them the same way I spoke to you as a customer. And if they come in as a customer or a distributor, I'll just put them under you and build that business with you. And then you'll add time as you find the success. In other words, if you work 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night, then you want to do 20 and 20, or you want to do 30 and 30, you'll add on. Or we just keep the relationship the way it is. Now, am I feel like I'm doing all his work? He is a lead generation source for me. He's generating leads for me in my business, and my reward for that and the way I'm paying him is by building his spot for him. It's still in my downline. Okay? It's still in my downline. It's still volume to me. He's still personal, and those people are still in my organic organization. We'll talk about that when I teach comp plan next week. Would you guys like maximizing the comp plan next week to talk about that on the little tricks and tips in the comp plan? Good, because I think I'm teaching that in Boston, or Stoney's going to teach it in Boston. So I got to come up with it and make sure I hit on all the points. Let's see, what else? There was one more I want to leave you with. Oh, are you the type of person that would rather cut costs and save money or make more money? So what you're saying is, are you willing to do without, or are you willing to go for more? Right? Did you guys hear the other one I talked about for product? I said for product, are you the type of person that if you find a beauty product that works really well, would you keep it a secret, or would you tell your friends about it? That's the way you let people know, a customer know that there's an opportunity. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but I have ADD, so deal with it. Right. So one is when you're dealing with a potential distributor, are you the type of person who would rather do without and spend less money, or the type that you want to find a way to make more money so you don't have to give up anything? And then for a customer, are you the type of person that if you found a great beauty secret, would you keep it a secret, or would you tell your girlfriends about it? Like, do you want to be the only pretty one, or do you want to tell other? No, I would tell all my friends, whatever. Great. Let me tell you about what you can do, and maybe even get your product for free. But and then I told you about it. Now let's get your product. Let's get you started, and we'll go on from there. I wanted to get into follow-up. So if anybody wants to stay for another 5 minutes, Hannah, you still with us? I don't have my glasses on. I think she had to go. Hannah had to go. Okay. Right? Did she? All right, so if you guys want to go, you guys can go. We're just going to do a bonus round right now about follow-up, and I was going to have Hannah talk about what we did with her website. And if you go to my Facebook page and go back a few days ago, I actually posted her link. She happens to have a website, and she posted her. I made her create a new page that you can go right to in our website. Like, you don't always have to go to the first page of the website. You go down to like the third page, and on that page just talks about hormone health. So go to let me see if I can bring it up. Hold on real quick. I feel bad. Somebody tell Hannah if she can get back on. She might be dealing with the kids or something, but
Yeah, she said she had to
Yeah.
go because of the kids.
all right. Well, tell her I'll do what I was going to ask her to speak on. I'll do real quick. Tell her she's the bonus question, but I'll bring it on. I'll bring her on next week. Let's go, Paul Capozio. You guys still there with me, right? Okay.
Hey, Paul, you have any idea when you're going to do the training on LinkedIn?
I don't know. We're just going to fit it in on one of these Saturday calls. Here we go. Okay, so give me a second. Yeah, I mean, I can't do it today. I can't stay longer today because I actually have people I got to enroll. But all right, can you see my screen? It says hormones here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so all this is partner with Hannah. So I like the idea of saying partner with Hannah, joint peg. Charmaine can change your life. We do these videos and stuff, and I do it a lot for my team. But you guys could start ripping us off. Hannah Banana's coming in. Okay, so Tina, go ahead. You got your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, I have a question. So
Yeah,
when
just
we are
unmute.
these
Just
cold
unmute.
market,
Saturdays. Yeah, just unmute. Cold market. Go ahead.
yeah, I don't ever want to interrupt you though, because you get on a roll and I don't want my question to distract you and it go off on a rabbit trail. But so when we're reaching out to these cold market people, do you suggest making a phone call first or a text message to them?
All right,
Which
so
is
let's talk
best?
about,
Because some
let's talk
people
about
will accept a phone call from people,
okay, so let's talk
especially
about,
if they don't have their number. Like if I don't have somebody's number in my phone, I'm not necessarily going to answer it. But
right.
then,
I
so
do text.
I just, that's a fine line.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But if we're talking about leads, okay, so I mean, not everybody can talk about leads. So we're talking about leads right now. Blah, blah, blah. Hold on. So let me go to, I posted one in the leads thing. Peg, Charmaine, what's her name?
And I've copied and pasted that a couple of times, and
Yeah, it's not always going to work.
I've gotten a few. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
always going to work, but what you're doing is you're identifying your number. So what I do is if you're doing a cold call and let's say you get their number, okay? However you did it, let's say you have a Facebook person and like the number's listed. If you go on my LinkedIn, you can get my phone number. So I'll get a text from somebody. So when you do that and you find their number, right? And you've been going back and forth on Messenger or wherever it may be. Now you first send them, you want to make a phone call to them because phone call is always the best. If you get them on the phone, you just increases your chances of getting that person to be a customer distributor by at least 50%. All right. So what I do is I'll say, can somebody read that? I got to find this person. I'll read it to you what I send to someone who, let's say, visited my website or something. Oh boy. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I get so many texts.
Like the other day, you posted something about like, "Hey, Tina,
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
Paul.
I'm looking for it.
I saw you connected with my company. I was looking for some extra income. Did you find anything? Are you still interested?
Well,
or
that's
would you
one of
like
them.
to-
We got a whole bunch of them. And we'll start posting them in the chat. But all right, Whitney? Okay, Whitney. Okay, the girl's name is Whitney. So Whitney, I know, is not looking for New Life, but she's looking to make extra money somehow. Okay, I don't know if she's looking to make money by getting a second job or she wants her own little business. So this is what I write before I call them. So if I have their phone number and I know they're interested in something, right, because they posted something on Facebook or whatever, I'll say, "Good morning, Whitney. My name is Paul. Thank you for providing your information," right? Her phone number. "I'll reach out this afternoon like you requested." So this person must have told me that they what time of the day they like to be contacted. Whether they do that or not, I don't care. "Good morning, Whitney. My name is Paul. Thank you for providing your information. I'll reach out this afternoon like you requested, but I wanted to say hello and provide my personal number." So what did you accomplish there in the first paragraph? Letting them know that you're the person that was involved in something that they might have been interested in, and this is you and your personal number. So now they identify the number when you call. Still doesn't mean they're going to. Then it says, "We have similar stories." She had mentioned that she wanted to work from home because her mom, she was afraid of giving her mom COVID because she's old. So I made something relatable. "We have similar stories, except that I was already building this opportunity before I moved my mom and dad in with me. My dad is more at risk than my mom at the moment." So now I'm being relatable, personable. I'm doing rapport building, right? And then I close with, "Working from home and building my own small business gave me that freedom. Your income target is achievable." She said she wanted to make like $1,000 a month. "Your income target is achievable in a few hours a day if you are coachable. I'll talk to you later. Have a great morning." So now what I did was I told her that it's a small business opportunity. So now I let her know that the blind number that's going to call her, who it is. I let her know that we're relatable and I built rapport, that her parent, her mom, she's worried about her mom getting sick. I take care of my parents. And then she knows it's a small business opportunity. So that was at 9:00 in the morning. At 5 p.m., I get a text back because I did try to call her, but it just rang. It says, thank you so much, Paul, for taking the time to send such a personalized response. I really appreciate the time and consideration you have already given me for this opportunity. And then I wrote, that is what we do. We just want to show you our system and see if it's a fit for your lifestyle. I tried calling, but it just rang. Do you have a few minutes now? And guess what she did? Ghosted me. Ghosted me. Right. So that's okay, because I sent her then a typical launch call. Right. And then I sent her the new you hormone opportunity. Still haven't heard from her. Do I think I will? Absolutely. Do I start hounding her? No, because I've had 50 other ones that I'm working with. So don't try to hatch an egg, right? Don't try to hatch an egg. You want to be, juggling, not whatever. Planning ahead, show me who can be my expert with the auto repair shop.
That's good. Thank you, Paul. That was good.
Yeah,
That was perfect.
no problem. And those are all in that lead chat that we have. And then we're going to start.
Right.
We should put some of them. Like, I love the one, Peg, where we talk about, hey, are you still looking for an opportunity? Let's say you got an old lead. And I gave you guys all of these scripts a long time ago. But now that you're getting leads and you're getting interest and you built your pipeline, now that's coming into play, right? Now all of these things that I've been talking about for a year are starting to make sense to you. Here's a rabbit hole. Thanks, Tina. So when you get trained, right, on the comp plan, when you get trained on marketing, when you get trained on responses and cold market selling, and I still got to get to this picture on my screen. It's not going to make a lot of sense at the time. Oh, that's not going to work. And then when all of a sudden, when the experiences start to happen, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. That's what he meant. And that's okay. That's just part of the process. You're going to have aha moments, as you progress in this business. Oh, I get it now. Oh, I get it now. Oh, that's why I get the coaching bonus. That's why I do this. That's why I do that. Okay, let's go to Hannah's thing. Hey, Hannah, you there?
Yeah, sorry, my kids were trying to kill each other there.
No. So yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all hormones. It's even them. They're hormones because they got too many hormones. So tell us, let's go through your whole thing, because what this thing is, I don't want you to think everybody's got to run out and get this. I'm going to go right to your website so we get a full page of this. So I talked to Hannah and we were talking about follow-up, and we're doing some one-on-one coaching and everything. And I said, well, look, not everything has to be, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Hey, I talked to you last week, and are you ready to join? Are you ready to buy the bottle? Sometimes it's just a follow-up with something like this, right? But what something like this is so powerful is because it's promoting her at the same time of promoting hormone health. Okay, it's not she doesn't open up with a big picture of the gel. She's talking about hormones, right? So it's a little bit of a Trojan horse. She's got her picture. So now she's building herself and she's capturing information here. Now, if you don't know how to do this, that's okay. There's free ways to do this, without building a website. So I don't want to stop everybody and stop and go build a website and go spend $10 a month. Don't want that. But the point is, part of your follow-up and part of your outreach is going to be it's going to be generic. But you need 10 to 15 follow-up pieces that are not just new you life videos. You need to go save an article. If you don't have this capability or knowledge like Hannah does, just go and find some articles. Google some articles on hormone health and why it's important and all this other stuff, and cop that as a link and put it as part of your follow-up stuff. Go ahead, Hannah. I need you to just kind of comment on how we got to this point and some of your thoughts.
Yeah, sure. So there was an opportunity I had that possibly was going to collect, or people would be interested in who I was. And you and I talked about, so I have a website already for my massage business, and I'm my own webmaster, which is questionable at best. But the conversation you and I had was, do I send them to my New You Life website, or do I? And you were like, no. Let's create a landing page, or, and I had the opportunity, like you said, because I have my website, that I could make my own landing page. And so then it was trying to get content on here that was engaging, but also simple. Did that, what else what are their thoughts?
I apologize, guys. My mom fell. Sorry about that. I got to get home soon. Linda just called. My mom fell. Sorry about that. Hannah, thanks for running with that. I appreciate it. Next week, I want you guys all to I want you all to come up with a question or something you know about the comp plan, because I need you guys to start training. I need you guys, everybody on this call, that the best way to learn anything is to teach it. Okay? I don't need you to go now and copy Hannah's website word for word and everything else, because if you got nobody to send it to, this is what it'll tell you. Let's go out and get you some people to send and to follow up with, and then you call us up and we'll teach you how to do follow-up. Hannah's got people to send this to, right? So it had to be created. But if you don't have any follow-ups to do, don't go now and build this whole system. Teach everyone to go slow, to go fast. You don't need everything all set up about what you're going to need 2 years from now when you finally go diamond and you have thousands of people all over the world. Let's worry about the first two. And let's worry about the people that you've forgotten that came into your business up to this point that should be on this call. I won't be there. Son, Nancy. Oh, really? He's getting married. All right. So hold on a second. We're going to stop. You get the picture. So Nancy, I'm so happy for you. Not only that your son's getting married, but the fact is that you're not a father, you're not a mother of a bride and a father of a bride, because then you got to write a friggin' check.
It's a lot easier with the son, I think.
Yeah, right. You do the honeymoon or you do the rehearsal dinner, and that's about it.
Exactly.
Well, I know it's different now. It's different now. I mean, everybody kicks in, but that's great.
Yeah.
So where are you having it?
It's at a friend's big, beautiful barn that is filled with chandeliers, and it's just gorgeous. It's going to be so great.
I'm sure you're going to send pictures. You know,
We
but listen,
will.
You're not. If I see a bottle of gel on every table, I'm gonna yell at you, because it's not the time for marketing right now.
Oh yeah, I got all kinds of things planned. No.
That's cute. That's cute. Awesome. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, anybody else got any good news they want to share? Anybody get a distributor or a customer? We had a lot of distributors and customers going on in the, Danielle.
I signed one in this morning.
Awesome. Fantastic. I love it. Which one? Customer or distributor?
Distributor.
Awesome.
Yeah. And there's a couple more that I'm talking with. I was talking with while we're on the call. I'm jumping on, and that's something I normally do is be like, okay, well, I'm trying to multitask. And I said, just get your ass on the phone right now. Let's go.
So wait. So would you do us a favor before we say goodbye? Would you go through the whole process of how you found the person to getting them to make a decision and a little bit of a time frame on how long that took?
Sure.
And I don't care if it took a year. It doesn't matter.
Just the video that I posted of my son trying to give me entrepreneurial advice the other night, and I thought it was funny. And I think a lot of women, it just resonated with the children and so forth, kind of funny. And it was people that I actually connected with over a year ago about the gel, and they actually asked for information, and I sent them invites to like Gel and Tell, and they ghosted me. And they saw this video and they reached out and they said, I want the magic pill, or the magic gel too. So I immediately just sent them a message, and then I followed up with a voice. And I said, I just want to put a voice behind this message to let you know it's me. And I actually literally copied a text that Kenny sent me, and it was just so professional, but it made it seem as if you need to hop on the phone with me. And it didn't open that door to, okay, well, maybe someday in the future, no, I need to speak with you about this. What is your availability, today or over the next 48 hours? And it worked. And she's like, well, I'm going out to yoga in an hour. Do you have time now? And I'm like, oh, wake up. And I'm like, yes, I do. On the phone. So we talked a little bit, I let her talk to me, a lot in common. I real quickly, before I jumped on the phone, I scrolled through our page. And
great.
She's a yellow. And I knew that, and I knew how to talk with her. I was excited. It just made her feel excited, and she's passionate about it. So I sent her the link and I said, okay, I'm going to follow up with you in 20 minutes. Since you said you're doing this now, I don't want you to be left out in the, in the dark. And she sent me everything, went through, and I'm talking with two other people right now.
Awesome. Fantastic. Now the key is go do it again because you're on that high. It's like the runner's high. Keep going to do that. And you'll learn to get addicted to that positivity versus the negativity side of it that so many people panic for, and just like, should I call him? Should I not? But you physically spoke to this person.
Yes.
How many people of you have really sponsored people that have done anything in the business and you haven't spoken to them? Not many. If it's almost impossible, right? How many people? So think about this. When you go to an event and you see on stage who's up there, right? And what their previous careers were, and the people that you admire on this call and what they do, that tells you who your target market is, right? That tells you who your target market is. So I don't like when we have these ideas about going after these certain industries or whatever, that's okay, that's good, but don't stop what the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit is a Paul Capozio, a Danielle, a Peg, a John, an Angel, a Nancy Billingsley. Okay, what does that mean? It means this is the people you're looking for. So you got to go with the law of averages. Where are you going to get the biggest market share, right? If you sell cat food and you run your commercials on the Dog Lovers Network, I don't think you're going to do very well. So make sure you're advertising to your audience, right? And everything. And just make people fall in love with you. People don't come to my team because they like me. People come to my team because they like the people on my team, right? And then they tolerate me. So, but yeah, have a little look. You don't have to have an ego to do this business. And sometimes you got to do a little self-depreciating humor, especially with Danielle. You don't realize the presence you have, and you could be intimidating to some women who are maybe, 60 pounds overweight or 80 pounds overweight, right? But meanwhile, what's your journey? They see you now. So you got to talk more about what you're not good at or what you didn't do well, which was when you weren't in the greatest shape of all. That's really the story. The story is when you're at your worst to your best. Because when we see each other at their best, we can admire it. We love each other. But why do we love Danielle? Because we know her story. Otherwise, if you see her, right, how many people are probably looking at her stuff or Peg's stuff, right, on the internet and saying, oh my God, look at this one, another video now, right? All of a sudden, because like her husband may be saying, well, why don't you do something? You're on that goddamn Facebook all day long and you don't do anything, and you're in 6 hours. This is the life. You have to understand. Look at it from the other POV. What is that other person's point of view? Accept it, appreciate what it is, and then appeal to what may be hurting them. Ask questions. Love you guys. I got to go. My mom just fell. She's okay, but,
Oh,
whatever. Yeah.
okay, Kirsty.
All right, guys. Got to go. Love you guys.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Good to see everybody.
Congratulations, Danielle.
Bye.
Great work on that new distributor. Bye.